Gevo just made a game-changing deal with Chevron, but is it all good? Well, in this video I'm gonna break down the good, the bad and the ugly of this deal. And the reason why it's so important is that there are actually 3 filings, as you can see on the screen, and these are incredibly important if you are an investor in Gevo like myself, or if you're looking at buying just now, and the result, guys, will really surprise you, so stay tuned. Now let's dive straight into it. And this is what everyone has read. There is an agreement that is between Gevo and Chevron to make a sustainable aviation fuel investment. But this deal actually breaks down into 2 parts. In the first one, Chevron and Gevo announced today that a letter of intent to jointly invest in building and operating 1 or more facilities. So let it sink for a second. It's not just 1 facility, but 1 or more. Obviously, this is to be decided yet. I am pretty sure we are gonna get more news on this agreement, but what's really important is that they didn't tell us when this deal will actually take place. Are they gonna build the factory next year, the year after, 2024, 5, 26, who knows? But don't worry, because if you stay tuned on this channel, I make new videos when any news on Gevo comes out, so that you're always up to date, and also because I'm a big Gevo fan and shareholder. Now this is the second bit about the news, and this is incredibly important because it also has financial repercussions. So Gevo would operate its proprietary technology to produce sustainable aviation and blah blah blah. But what's really important is this one. Chevron would have the right to offtake approximately 150 million gallons per year to market to customers. Now once again, when this is happening, nobody knows, and actually even media agencies have gone out their way to try to investigate more about this deal. And this is what I mean. Even Reuters said both Chevron and Gevo did not immediately respond to any emails seeking to comment on their investment plans. So this is what I mean. There is so much to be discussed about this deal yet, so stay tuned, because this is happening in the next few weeks and probably months. But now, I promised you drama in this video, not only the good bit. That's what we just looked at. Now we are gonna look at the bad and the ugly, and guys, you won't like it. Like I said, I'm a big Gevo fan. Just hold it in your mind, because it's gonna get real ugly. Now this is the first thing that I didn't quite like. The agreement, and this is again a Gevo SEC filing. So the agreement also contemplates the issuance of warrants. So Gevo is paying Chevron and buying 15 million shares of Chevron, and all of this is done through warrants. Now this is already not great, because Gevo doesn't have a lot of cash these days. They are not a profitable company, and their investments are very cash intensive, meaning that to make money they have to deploy an awful lot of cash, and later I'm gonna tell you where this cash is gonna come from, and guys, it's gonna blow your mind. Stay tuned. But here is the kicker, guys. They said they're gonna buy these 15 million shares of Chevron, because even Chevron is a public company, but they will do it only, and it is contingent on the offtake volume of the project. So if Chevron buys the volume that they promised, the 150 million gallons per year, well, then Gevo will buy these shares. So this is a way to kind of make sure that Chevron will actually keep their end of the deal. But it's kind of the ugly of this deal. Gevo has to actually use leverage to get a customer or a partner to work with them. That is not great, but this is not really big. It's just more of a speculation that I have. Like I said, I'm very bullish about Gevo, but now there is the bit that I promised you. We looked at the good at the beginning, we then looked at the ugly, and now we're gonna look at the bad. And guys, it's gonna really annoy you. And annoy you probably is not the right word. It's gonna piss you off real bad. Gevo is actually offering, and meaning diluting the share, to raise up to $500 million. Yes, guys, write it down. $500 million worth of shares that will be injected in the market. Now, this is what this SEC filing is about, and it's very important to read what is going on here. It's insane. And I know what you're thinking now. 500 million worth of shares. Is it a lot? Is it not a lot? It's an awful lot, let me show you. And it's so big, this dilution is so big that it is actually mentioned in the filing itself. If you purchase shares of our common stock sold in this offering, you will incur immediate and substantial dilution. And perhaps substantial is actually underestimating how much we are actually gonna be diluted. Let me show you the numbers, because it's gonna be right. It's gonna be one of those things that if you're not a big Gevo believer like myself, you might even think of selling. Yes, I said it. This is just the Gevo market cap from Google, and as you can see, the market cap is 1.55 billion. They say they want to raise 500 million by selling shares. They would dilute the market cap, the overall number of shares, by about 30%. Yes, guys, 30%. 500 million, 30% more shares that will actually come into the market. And I hope you understand that this is not positive at all. And so the question becomes, is it a good time to buy now Gevo stock or not? And am I even thinking of selling my shares now? Well, let's talk about it. And let's do it in a very special way. So that is today. That is actually Gevo price today. That's a daily chart. And as you can see, the volume is through the roof. Like, this is the volume that Gevo had when it peaked out around January this year. Look, that was the absolute volume. We are even higher today. So what that tells me, that is incredibly important, because basically based on the volume we can understand why we are so high and where we can go from now. The reason why the volume is so important is that there is a lot of trading going on, lots of people buying and selling, but they are not people. That's why, guys, you need to know. There are actually lots of algorithms, trading algorithms that are actually just buying and selling the news. And that is why Gevo has pumped so much today. They just went and read the title of the news and went, okay, so the deal between these two companies, it looks positive. So they just went ahead and bought an awful lot. So then the question is, should you follow the algorithms? Should you not? That is the question. And my answer is, probably you shouldn't. And in just 1 second, I'm gonna tell you why you shouldn't buy Gevo today for certain, and also wait a couple of days. I wouldn't just buy it now. I know this is much different from many other YouTubers who tell you, yes, buy it now, that is pumping and so on. So once again, do not think that I'm bearish. I'm actually very bullish on Gevo. But the reason why you shouldn't buy Gevo today and probably even the next few days is because they're not profitable. And that is very important, guys. We are in a situation now with the market where there is a lot of inflation, and that's something that big investors like Warren Buffett, and I've made a full video about it, that's what's gonna be at the end of this video, so stay tuned. But investors like Warren Buffett also look at the cash flow of companies like that, if products and companies are actually sustainable in an inflationary market, and that is incredibly important. Obviously, Warren is not the only one who's buying, but to understand that these are speculative plays, and now that we just got this bit of news, it's not sufficient to sustain growth in the next few days. Based on that, I'm not bearish on Gevo at all. I actually think that in the long run, and we're talking about 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, this stock will actually go through the roof. And if you want to know what Warren Buffett thinks about Gevo, click on this video and I'll see you next time.